Hola, hola. Vale, esto debería estar a tope ya, ¿no? Esto debería... Vale, sí. Vale, un segundito que me salga a mí lo del tema del tiempo... Vale. Bueno, pues nada, vamos a reaccionar a la Minecraft Live. Iba a decir Minecon, pero no. Minecraft Live. Sé que llegó tarde. Porque llegó tarde, ¿vale? Pero yo he tenido un cumpleaños hoy. He tenido el cumpleaños de mi hermano. Así que pues no he podido estar. Pero bueno, vamos a verlo todos juntos, ¿vale? Vamos a ver qué ha presentado. Esto supongo que es el pre-show este. Vale, 22 minutos aquí arriba. Vale, esto sigue siendo el pre-show. Vale, esto sigue siendo algo normal. Minecraft Dungeons. Vale, un poquito por aquí atrás, mismamente. Vale, yo creo que desde aquí podemos darle. Supongo que se oye bien y todo. Vale, sí.
Hello and welcome to
Bueno, os voy a poner los subtítulos, aunque están en inglés, pero bueno, os lo voy a poner.
Minecraft Live 2020. I'm Lydia Winters, your host and chief storyteller for Mojang Studios. We're coming
Vamos
to
a
you
ver qué
live from
presentan.
Stockholm, Sweden, the birthplace of Minecraft. Some of our amazing team members couldn't be here today, so we recorded the Minecraft Earth and Creator Tools segments in Redmond earlier this week. We are so thankful you're joining us. Before we get started, we want to acknowledge the number of challenges around the world right now, as well as the mental, physical, and emotional toll those challenges are taking on all of us. With that in mind, we want to give the opportunity today to take a breath, have fun, enjoy the games we love, and celebrate all of you, our incredible Minecraft community. It won't all be easy.
Presentarán
You'll have
la...
to decide which mob to vote into the game, which, based on votes in previous years,
Presentarán la
will be
actualización de las
super
montañas.
tough.
Uy, un segundo, perdón.
You'll not only get to hear about what's
Hola.
coming to your favorite Minecraft games, you'll also hear directly from the development teams. We want you to leave today knowing about the exciting additions coming to Minecraft and also why our team has made those decisions. An insider's look at what's brewing at Mojang Studios. Today, we're kicking things off with the announcement of the...
Se escucha bien, ¿no? Vale, sí, se escucha bien.
We're gonna tell you right now.
A ver, vamos a ver qué presentan. A mí me gustaría que enseñasen la actualización de las montañas. A ver cómo se ve, me refiero.
Hello.
Let's do this.
So, okay, the next update is the update that we know that so many of you, and well, so many of us as well, has been wanting for such a long time. It's the Caves and Cliffs update.
¿La actualización de las cuevas? What?
It must feel amazing to be able to tell everyone that.
Seriously, like
Van a
I'm so
actualizar las
excited
putas cuevas
about
por
this. I
fin.
mean, even
¿En serio?
before I joined Mojang, I was always thinking about like when is the cave update gonna come, and this is it. But it's also got the cliffs as well. It's got the mountains. Like this is such a big update, and I'm so excited.
How are you feeling, Agnes?
¿Pero van a enseñar algo o simplemente
Great,
lo van a
like,
decir?
No, it's so good. So we have been working on this update for quite long, and we're like, we can't wait to tell everyone, and now we just announced it, and it feels
So
just
we're actually
amazing.
getting our first live look at some reactions.
Oh.
Okay, that's very
¿Qué
cute.
significa cliff? Acantilados. Vale.
Those mobs are very,
O sea, cuevas y
very
acantilados.
excited. This year we asked some of our communities to
Curioso.
submit questions that we'll answer across the show. This first question definitely feels like something everyone wants to know.
Mi pregunta es, ¿por qué se han tardado tanto en actualizar las cuevas y cuándo llegarán? En verdad que hemos estado pidiendo esto por muchísimo tiempo.
Why has it taken so long? Like Brandon, I've been waiting a long time too.
Yeah,
Yo era
that's a
uno de
very
los
good
que pedía que
question.
actualizase
So,
las putas
since
cuevas.
this update really is the update, like we have been dreaming about it for so long, so it felt so important for us to do it right. Like we don't want to rush it. But now we feel it's the right time. Like we have spent the time we need to really like understand the vision we have for the update, and also to make sure that we understand what the community actually wants. And we've also like planned around
va un
it
poco
to
con
make sure that
retraso
we really
los
can work
subtítulos, por lo que estoy
together
viendo.
with the community to make this and like as epic update as possible. And we have also hired some new amazing developers to the team.
And you're one of the amazing developers, Brandon.
Yeah, I joined this year in January, and I actually came from the community. I used to do modding for 10 years. One of the first mods I worked on
10
was the
años.
Aether, which is like a dimension that added sky islands and stuff. And yeah, I'm just so happy to be here and work on an update this epic.
Esto es la gente
Happy to
nueva que se
have
está
you.
incorporando a Moyan. Ha dicho,
We have
"No,
another creator
déjame
question.
meternos mano nosotros."
Hi, I'm the Pink Diamond Diva, and this is my question. Are you making the caves more advanced for older players so they can mine deep?
tengo ni puta
or
idea de
are
qué
you
es.
making them more accessible and easy to navigate for newer players?
Jesús
Such a
bendito.
great
Lo siento, vale, voy a
question.
quitar esto porque va con puto retraso.
Yeah, I
y me-
mean, with this update, we're making
Me
sure
estoy
that we
liando
can
entre
have
una
as
cosa y
much
otra.
variation as possible within the actual caves themselves, but we want to make sure that the old caves are still retained as much as possible to keep that classic feel.
Yeah, and we really also looked into to make sure that we have something for everyone, because you know we have such a huge community, and it's also a very diverse community, and that's such a beautiful thing. So we really want this update to have something for everyone. So actually, we made sure to map all the features in the update to different player styles to really see that we fulfill that goal.
That's so cool. And you had such a big thought process on how you decide
¿Pero van a
what even
enseñar
goes
algo?
into
Yes.
an update this big.
Yeah, we have
Se ha visto
spent
algo
quite a
por
lot
ahí.
of time on just making sure that we have a very good like fundament for the update. For example, we did the player style mapping, and we've also worked with design pillars. So the design pillars, they kind of describe the vision of the update. So for example, they help us when we like prioritize between different features, and also when we design
Tengo
each
miedo de lo
specific
que habrán
feature.
hecho con las
And we have
cuevas.
3 pillars for this update. And the first one is actually all about like the spectacular mountains,
Yo
the
solo pido
snowy
una
snow,
cosa.
and the mischievous goats. Because at
Una
last
para las
year's
cuevas,
live,
¿vale?
the players voted for these features, and we thought,
Estalactitas.
like it's so important to deliver
Y las
on that
estalagmitas,
promise.
las que van
So we
desde el
actually wanted
techo
to
y las
have
que
it
van
as a
desde el
pillar.
suelo. Solo pido
Yeah.
eso.
And another pillar that we actually integrated into this was adding strategy to mining.
Que a lo mejor lo están
So of
diciendo,
course,
pero como no me
Minecraft already
apetece
has
pensar
plenty of
en
strategy
inglés,
in mining, but we wanted to
literalmente,
see if we could push that just a little bit
me da igual.
further and add even
Yo
more
solamente pido
mechanics that
eso.
make it interesting for players to
Estalactitas
mine
y
in the caves.
estalagmitas. Con que
Yeah.
pongan
And
eso,
the third
soy la persona
pillar
más feliz del
is
universo
to
ahora mismo.
create an underground of marvel for the players. And that pillar is a lot about like adding variation to the underground and like contrast and like inspire players to like craft their own underground
A ver, mejor,
adventures and build underground. And one thing we have done to like fulfill this pillar
Es
is
que va
that
como-
we
va
have
como con
added new
retraso
cave
el-
biomes. And one of them is
Iba a
the
decir el
lush
chat,
caves.
los subtítulos. ¿Esos son nuevos árboles? Eso es un nuevo árbol. Lush Cave. Vale. Lush Cave. Vale, esto me está gustando. Y esa cosa... ¿Y esa planta en el techo? Hay cositas ahí en el agua. ¿Qué cojones es eso? Vale, esta mierda empieza bien ya, ¿eh? Hostia, cómo mola, ¿no?
It's so beautiful. It doesn't feel cave-like.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to make sure that, of course, in Minecraft, all the original caves, you know, they're pretty much the same. There's not much variation in terms of vegetation or different
Viva el-
features inside
viva el
of it.
delay
So for this, we
entre
wanted something which
lo
is
que
a
dicen
bit
los
more
subtítulos.
like light and lush and actually has vegetation. And I mean, I think it looks amazing.
It's gorgeous. What was the inspiration behind it?
So we were thinking about, okay, so how should it feel when you are in a lush cave? And we wanted to be like, so you feel like very tiny inside like a big garden or big forest. So like when you look up, it's actually like vegetation above you, it's vegetation around you. And one source of inspiration we had is actually a Swedish painter called John Bauer. Because in his paintings, it's always, or often at least, like a tiny character, and then it's like huge forest, and you see like the bottom of the trees because the vegetation is like so big compared to the character.
And you're adding so many new plants in the lush caves.
Yes, so I don't know if you saw, but there was this new tree that was actually above on the overworld, and this is called an Azalea Tree. So it's a unique type
A ver, a ver, a ver. Vale, estos son las... como enredaderas con brillo, ¿no? Las glow, vale. Estos son como una especie de... no sé, como lily pads. Una cosa muy extraña, a ver, un segundo. Azaleas. Así está cerrado y así está abierto. Y sueltan esporas. Mira, y aquí tenemos supuestamente una pequeña imagen de cómo se ve, ¿no?
of tree that it'll be easy to spot for players, and if you actually find this and start going down its roots, you will find a lush cave there. So this is another part of adding strategy to mining, where
O
there
sea,
are certain landmarks.
no han
which will
sacado la
allow you to
actualización de las
understand what you're
montañas y
doing
ya están
again.
presentando esta. Esta por lo menos hasta la
And another
1.17
one of the
olvidado,
new
¿eh?
blocks is a block called Spore
O sea,
Blossom.
miento.
And it's the,
Estamos
you
en cuál
may
estamos
have
ahora, en la
seen it, it's a big pink
1.16,
flower that you find in the
16,
roof
¿no?
of the lush cave.
O
And it will
1.15.
drip
¿En cuál
particles
estamos
from
ahora?
that
¿En la
flower, but it
1.16?
will also actually fill like
La
big volume
1.17 será las
around it with
montañas y la
particles. So it's similar to the
1.18
particles
será la de las
that we added
cuevas.
to the nether biomes in the nether update. But the cool thing
A no ser
here
que
is
hagan una
that you
fusión
can
y las
move the
cuevas y
flower
las
if you want
montañas
to
las
and
metan,
get these
lo dudo
particles
bastante.
anywhere you want in your world. So you can actually be very creative with that.
That's so awesome. And
Lo que sí tienen que hacer es una
the lush
actualización
caves
del
have a real
overworld.
glow
O
to
sea,
them
del mundo
from
donde
one
tú
of the
juegas,
plants.
me refiero.
Yes.
Tienen
So
que
in
mejorarlo
there
todavía,
are
pero una
vines
barbaridad como
in
si te fuese la vida aquello.
in the lush caves, and they
Pero
have
bueno.
glow berries on them, and these are
El tema
actually
de las
light
cuevas me
source.
interesa
You can
bastante.
also pick them and eat them if you want to.
Nice.
Yes. And another plant we actually have is the drip leaf plant. And you can actually see that they can kind of grow from like water or anywhere else. And they grow quite tall, but they have like a little plant on the top that you can actually hop
Vale,
onto.
está hablando de la planta
the
esa que
idea of the
crece en el
mechanic
agua.
behind it is that the leaf will actually tilt down when you stand on it too long. So this will actually make you fall through. However, after a few seconds, it'll come back up. So it's kind of this like platforming block that allows you to just,
Drift plate
continue platforming over and over again, which I hope is really exciting for, content creators making maps.
Yeah, you can build like your own platforming levels, and then
Qué
they will
curioso,
repair
¿no?
themselves. That's kind of neat.
Ahí va.
It's so beautiful in there. And there's actually a mob
Me estoy
coming
viendo
to
los
the lush
mapas,
caves.
como eso tiene como
Yes,
diferentes
there
ángulos, lo
is,
van a poner
but
así
we
en
will
plan
actually
deslizamiento.
not tell
Uy.
you about this mob
¿Cómo lo puedo
now,
poner en diferentes
because in the end
posiciones?
of the show we will show even more features coming to the Caves and Cliffs update, and then we're gonna show that mob.
There
This
is
is
so
the
much.
first time we have so much that we're actually splitting the update section into two at the beginning and towards the end of the show. It's amazing.
curioso.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting.
You've also worked on improving the cave generation.
Yes.
Yeah, so as you can see here, I mean, this is drastically different to what caves used to look like.
Improve
And there's
cave
definitely
generation.
still
Van
the
a cambiar
old
la
style of
generación de
caves,
de las
but we wanted
cuevas.
to make sure that there was much more variety in the sort of caves and the shapes and the sizes you could get. And even here, you can see that there's some water underground.
Yes. So we actually added something we call
Cuevas
local water
submarinas.
levels.
Mucho
So in
mejor,
one
parece que
cave you
están
can,
diseñadas.
might find like a cave lake, and another cave might not have that one. And
Parece
this
que están
also
diseñadas
means
mucho
that we
mejor.
get naturally generated waterfalls, which is so pretty. And it also kind of gives like new ways to traverse the underground.
Hostia, más grandes
You can
ahora.
actually go cave rafting.
Yeah,
That's
so you'll
lot.
see in a bit that our player here will actually use a boat
Dios,
to
son
raft.
enormes.
And that is just such an exciting opportunity to be able to traverse the caves in a very different way than you used to.
Yeah, we were playtesting, and then one of the devs like, look at this, it's so fun, and all of us just started to go with the boat on the waterfall. It was a lot of fun.
Hostia,
So another thing
no.
to note here is that you could see that a lot of the ores were actually glowing. This is just for preview purposes. Ores aren't going to glow now. It's just that the caves tend to be quite dark, and we want to make sure that players can see the shapes of the cave.
Now, will
Van a hacer
that
como que la
only
generación
be
de las
for
cuevas más
the, like,
grandes.
normal caves, or will this run across all of the new cave biomes?
Yeah, so the really cool thing is that like the new cave shapes and sizes is completely independent from the new biomes. So that means that we have so much variation. Because for example, a lush cave can, for example, generate in a super narrow tunnel, but it can also generate in like a huge cavern, and that creates completely different atmospheres, but it's still the same biome. So we're really gonna have lots of variation on the ground now.
You've been calling two of the different cave types spaghetti and Swiss cheese? Like that's how varied the caves could be?
Sí, pero me
Yes,
hace
I mean,
gracia
there
que
are
te
so
anuncien
many
ahora
different variables of how the
una
variation
actualización que
works,
no va a
and, I
salir
mean,
por lo
it
menos
has
hasta
even more
dentro de 2
variation than
años
the
o año y
overworld
medio.
itself. It's just crazy.
It's a lot. Yeah,
Entonces,
some of the caves,
no
for
sé,
example, have
me parece
really cool
curioso.
pillars, and some are more like flat, some are tall. Lots of variation.
Very nice. And you have another new cave biome to show us.
Yes, so we have the Dripstone Caves biome. And whenever I think about the idea of a cave update, the image of stalagmites and stalactites comes
Miradas.
into my head. But adding these are
Estalactitas y
pretty difficult. You know,
estalagmitas.
it's a very unique shape that Minecraft isn't really accustomed to. But I think the way that the artist put it into Minecraft works quite well.
Y tiene diferentes
And of course,
tamaños.
there's some mechanics surrounding this. So you can see that someone destroyed the block up the top, and so the dripstone fell down. And also, unfortunately for this
Hacen
zombie
daño.
here, if you fall on
Guay.
these dripstones, you will get hurt.
Or zombie.
Vale, vale,
There's
vale.
another
O-
interesting mechanic
ojo
in
esta
the dripstone
mierda,
caves.
Yes, so maybe you saw in the
Ojo.
video that, like from
Ojo
the
esta mierda,
stalactites,
Esto ya
you
empieza a
could
ser
see that it was
interesante ya.
like dripping water. So actually, if you put a cauldron under a stalactite, it will fill up with water. So it's renewable
Las estalactitas y
water.
las estalagmitas.
How,
Bien,
how do you
Moya.
remember which is
Bien.
stalactites and stalagmites?
Well, that's a very good question. It has been very tricky to remember that, but I think I learned. So we actually, yeah, it's hold on tight.
Bien,
so
Minecraft, bien, bien.
stalactite. I was going to say the
Así me
wrong one.
gusta.
It's-
Así
yeah,
sí.
so stalactite is in the roof, and stalagmite is on the floor.
Perfect.
Yes.
We've been practicing that, all of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a long time, like even.
And you
in
have
office.
something really amazing in this update for the sort of redstone engineers out there.
Yes, so we've actually been thinking about this redstone block that lives
ha terminado ya
in
la
the
votación de-
deep dark, a new biome at the deepest depths of the world. We're not going to talk about
Un
this
segundito,
biome
¿vale?
too
Ha terminado
much
la
today,
votación.
but we are going to show some of the
¿Quién ha
blocks
ganado al
and
final?
maybe later a
El
mob
glow
that
squid.
comes from it.
Al final
So
el
if
que ha
we
ganado
look
es
at the
el
video,
pulpo
we
luminoso
can
ese.
actually see that it's basically this growth, and this is called the skulk blocks.
¿Cómo?
It's basically this growth, and this is called the skulk blocks. And one of the blocks is called the skulk sensor. This is the new redstone block. As you can see, when you place or destroy a block, or if you have footsteps, it'll actually detect the vibrations around and then emit a redstone signal.
¿Cómo? Ha dicho que es un nuevo sensor de redstone que funciona como... Ha dicho que manda como un bloque que manda vibraciones a las plantas esas que se han como movido por la vibración. Y supuestamente si lo pones o lo quitas, como que manda... ¿What?
So this is going to be very interesting for redstone players. We even have a mechanic around it where you can actually use wool with wool occlusion to essentially prevent signals from being able to get into the skulk sensor. So let's take a look at that now.
A ver cómo funciona.
And as you can see here, I walked next to the skulk sensor, and it's actually kind of doing an infinite loop where the piston is causing a vibration, and then it's activating the skulk sensor and going over and over again. But here, I've actually put a wool block in between the piston, which prevents the signal from going to the skulk sensor. This can allow you to even do sort of directional skulk sensors where you can put wool
Vale, si
blocks
está
on each side and only allow it to detect vibrations in front of it.
Literalmente me
Vibrations
acaba de
can be so
explotar la
many
cabeza.
different things. You know, it can be a snowball hit, it could be an arrow, it could be footsteps, it could be blocks, anything.
So cool.
¿Todo?
Yeah.
And another thing, we had a bit of an happy accident with
Ha
this
dicho que se puede
because
activar
we
con todo, ha dicho
realized
con
that
bolas de
we get
nieve, con lo de los
wireless
huevos, con
redstone
pasos.
thanks to the skulk sensor.
Yes.
So, and we didn't even plan to add it.
Redstone
But then
inalámbrica.
when we started playtesting, we're like, wait, we got wireless redstone, and that's so exciting. And well, you can just build so many cool things
What?
with that. It's gonna be exciting to see what the community will build.
Yeah, you're really looking for community feedback to make sure this like feels great for everyone.
Absolutely. I think because this is such a unique mechanic, we really want to make sure that we get it right. And, you know, we love the redstone community and we want to make sure that we do it right. So any
Has dicho por
feedback you
fin.
have, any ideas, send it to
Por
us
fin
and
van a
we'll
meter
work with you
la,
to make
la,
this the
la
best
redstone
block that it can be.
inalámbrica.
And now we said there's another mob
De forma que no
coming
sea por mods, me
later,
refiero.
but I think it's
Es a lo
time
que quiero llegar.
for a new mob coming to the Caves and Cliffs update.
It is. And this is a very scary mob. And it lives
¿Ha
in
dicho que va a
the
venir un mob
deepest of
nuevo?
the underground, in the deep dark. And this is a very dark
El ganador
place.
es el
And
pulpo
the cool
luminoso
thing is
este.
that this mob is very well adapted to the environment.
El pulpo,
So
el
it
pulpo
actually
luminoso es el
can't
que ha
see
ganado.
anything, so it's
Vale, mira. ¿Lo veis? El pulpo luminoso es el que ha ganado, ¿vale? Para que lo sepáis. Que el que ha ganado es el pulpo
the
luminoso.
first blind mob in Minecraft. And that's very interesting because it gives such interesting mechanics. So instead,
Yo he
we
votado por el
react to
pulpo, por cierto.
vibrations, just like the skulk sensor block.
Así que me alegro.
So, if you aren't like very careful when you walk around in the deep
Ha
dark,
dicho que van a meter un
you
nuevo,
might
un nuevo
upset
mob.
that mob.
A ver.
Yeah, with this mob, we really wanted to make sure that we kind of recaptured that feeling of the first night of Minecraft. And like we can often forget that Minecraft can be a pretty scary game. So we
Dice que va a
wanted to
hacer el
make sure
juego
that we could kind of go back to that. I mean,
que va a
caves can be
va a dar
scary,
como
they're
más
dark.
miedo, entre comillas.
And all I'm going to say is that when you go into the deep dark, I want to make sure that you're very quiet and watch closely for the warden.
A ver, un segundo. Espera, espera, espera. ¿Qué se supone que es esto? Me estoy haciendo spoiler. Espérate, vamos a verlo aquí directamente. Vale, o sea, esto de la señal de resto inalámbrica lo puedes encontrar por cualquier lado. Mira, por los pasos. Vale, si vas... Vale, si vas agachado, o sea, si vas shifteando, no te detecta. Pero si pones cualquier tipo... ¡Oh, velas nuevas! Pero si pones cualquier cosa, movimiento, lo que sea, se activa la señal esta. Hostia, eso de las velas... Hostia, qué ambientazo va a dar eso, tú. Hostia, lo de las velas, tú. ¿Esa roca es nueva? ¿Ese bloque que tiene aquí enfrente, esa piedra es nueva? ¿O es un texture pack? No es un texture pack, ¿verdad? ¿Qué hablas? Que te detecta... Te detecta si haces ruido. Guardián.
What did we just see?
It's a very different mob.
Te
I'm really
te
excited for
detecta
this
por el
because
sonido.
not only is it trying to be scary, it's, you know, we had to keep a balance to it. It was very challenging to design a mob
what?
like this. Another thing that's really important to note is in that video, I was wearing full netherite armor, so it's very powerful. You
That's
definitely want to
favorite
watch
mob.
that.
Cojones, tío.
which I think also such an interesting gameplay, because like if you want to, you can avoid it, but then you need to really be careful, like sneak all the time to not make any
Sneak
kind
all
of
the time.
movement that it
Tenemos
will
que ir
detect.
shifteando
That's a lot of
todo
fun,
el
and it's like,
tiempo.
feels scary, but in the good way.
And you wanted to kind of take everyone back to that
parto
first
toda la
night
cabeza.
experience with the Warden.
Absolutely. I mean, I had such an amazing experience when I first played Minecraft. Like, it was terrifying listening to zombies underneath my house and in the caves, and hopefully we can bring that back to players, but, you know, 10 years later.
Yeah. But that would be just amazing, because you hear so many lovely first night stories. It's such a
Me
big thing,
parto
and I
toda
mean,
la
I'm
caja.
also very fond
Estoy
of my
buscando una
first
imagen,
night in
¿vale? Yo lo
Minecraft,
estoy escuchando,
so we
tranquilo, no
hope
te
to
preocupes.
give that experience again.
But you really balance sort of the look of it. It's like it's almost cute, but also really, really terrifying. How did you decide?
we actually worked a lot on like so.
O sea,
like,
vamos a
how
tener
does
que ir
scariness
shifteando con el
work in
bicho este.
Minecraft, 'cause we want it to be
A ver. Hostia, parece enorme. Dice cute and terrorif. ¿Ves? Responde por las vibraciones. O sea, tienes que ir shifteando. Dice, las vibraciones estimulan las orejas. Es un boss, entre comillas, un mob nuevo, muy interesante, porque tienes que ir en puto sigilo. Ojo, cuidado,
very scary, and we didn't want to take away from the scariness.
Ojo,
But we
cuidado.
felt, let's add some derpiness to it. So it's like a mix. So for example, we added the mouth. I love the mouth. And some actually reacted like, oh, it's so cute, which I think it's more scary, but I think we find like the perfect balance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lo han hecho
Yes,
que sea
character.
mono, lo han hecho que
Yes,
sea
definitely.
cute,
Well,
pero a la vez
you've been sitting
terrorífico.
up here. You just announced
Por el
an
sonido del
update
pecho
that
este del
everyone has
corazón. Me
been
gusta
waiting
mucho,
for,
por
and we
cierto.
actually have some tweets that have come in.
Oh,
That's awesome.
okay, that's amazing to see.
Nice.
So much excitement. Oh, even more tweets. So it's lovely. It's like we really developed this game together with the community, and now to see that people are
Muy
so happy,
interesante, sí.
that feels so good.
Yeah, honestly, it's such a privilege to work on a game like this and an update like this, and we just love this game and we want to make the best
Yeah.
update that we can for everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Agnes and Brandon. That was a lot of amazing new things. Don't forget that we have another segment full of even more cave updates later on in the show. Now let's head over to our Minecraft Live correspondent, Vubui. I hear he has a first look at something you all voted into the game last year.
Hello, Minecrafters of the world.
Pues yo
I'm
me alegro que
Vubui,
haya
and I'm
ganado el
here
pulpo
once
luminoso,
again
por cierto.
to help all of you at home to choose a mob that will go into Minecraft Caves and
Vamos a ir
Cliffs
pasando la
update.
gente esta que habla. Los otros me interesan porque
Goats.
son parte del
They're both
desarrollo del juego. Pero
mischievous and adorable
las cabras,
at the
míralas.
same time. As you can see, they live on the mountains, and if you aren't careful, they might knock you
¡Hasta
off.
luego! Madre
They
mía.
also have excellent jumping skills.
Tienen habilidades de salto. A ver, obviamente las cabras
We'll
saltan.
also get better mountain
Hasta ese punto.
generation with spectacular and more dramatic mountains with that will be more generation. That means things like
¿Esas son las
tree
montañas
lines and
nuevas?
mountaintops that will be more challenging with lots of snow and ice.
Ya, como mola
And
las montañas
speaking of
nuevas,
snow,
Ojo, cuidado.
yes, it will be snowier. We will also have similar to now choose
A ver,
friends.
vamos a ir pasando.
Oh.
Bees and moo blooms are friends, just like we are. Right, Agnes?
These friendly cows live in the flower forest biome, yellow as sunshine and covered in beautiful flowers. What's not to like about these beautiful bovines?
We are friends, right, Agnes?
Why do we have to record these videos on an actual mountain? They are animated.
The isolager is a new illager that lives on mountain tops. It's a hostile mob that attacks you
Te
with
tiran nubes
clouds of flying
congeladas.
ice.
You did pack the supplies we need to
Es
survive
curioso.
the night up here, right, Jens?
Este es
Do
el,
you ever
este es el
wish
que ha ganado.
Minecraft's oceans were
El pulpo
glowier?
luminoso o
Not
el
me.
calamar
I
luminoso.
always wish for
No
world
sé cómo
peace.
queráis llamarlo.
Sure you do. Well, wish no more.
Hay una cosa
Meet
que
the
me interesa de este
glow squid.
vídeo. No por el calamar que sea luminoso,
What
sino
was
porque
I
aparece un
meant to
puto
say
submarino.
again? Vote for Minecraft.
Avís.
Can't talk, must admire glow.
Agnes, Jens, it's really distracting.
Aparece un submarino.
They're so tiny and they're so susceptible to distraction. Hopefully that won't happen. I'm internet comments.
Y eso puede ser curioso. A ver.
If you don't in to
Vale, ahí
find the
tenéis lo de
latest
votar,
poll,
pero bueno, que
think on the mob
ha ganado
and
el
I'll let
cuerpo.
victory.
Adventures and Minecraft Caves.
My name is Yesenia Cisneros. Be a part of my shared each
A ver, si
week,
presentaran
and I
algo del
wish I
Minecraft
were that
Dungeons y estas
creative.
cosas,
I
me da
mean,
bastante igual.
wow.
Enseñar aquí
While
algo.
everyone has been discovering new hobbies, I have been logging
Will surely attest. They sure are distracting to look at. The first voting poll is now live. community is
looking forward
Vale,
to,
esto es el
because
Minecraft
this
Dungeon,
is
que me imagino
one
que
of the
será algún
coolest
tipo de...
things that has possibly come to the game.
Oh, tem que matar uma alguém. Ai, morri. Galera, me ajuda.
Supongo que será la nueva actualización que van a meter. No me interesa para nada, por cierto. Ya os aviso. Ya os aviso que me interesa lo menos posible. Actualización de la lava. Hostia, cómo mola esto. Educación. Jeff, cuidado. Ah, mira, es verdad que iban a sacar un juego de mesa por lo que estaba. Estoy viendo un poco por encima a ver si hay algo interesante. Pero aquí por lo que veo ¿van a meter una jarra de galletas? ¿En serio? ¿Van a meter una jarra de galletas? Parto. Es verdad, esto es lo del Super Smash Bros. Ese, que van a meter los personajes de Minecraft. Me interesa poco, aunque tengo la Nintendo Switch, pero me interesa poco. ¿Esto qué es? ¿Qué hace una oveja en el Nether? ¿Es el Minecraft Dungeon? ¿O es un tráiler en general al uso? ¿Porque va el cerdo dos patas? Me acabo de recordar al Rey León. Un simple tráiler y ya está. Ah, vale, esto es lo del el Minecraft de Windows 10. ¿Nuevos cultivos?
But I think tomatoes taste disgusting, so I thought it was better to make them as a.
Puedes tirarles tomates.
So Conan and I had some fun.
Peleas de tomates.
Throwing them around. It's harmless or sort of harmless.
Yeah, totally harmless.
Yeah.
Vale, pero esto es el Minecraft de Windows 10. ¿Esto será algún minijuego o algo? Serán bolas de nieve, lo más probable.
But tomatoes will actually rot on the vine.
Bueno, no estaría mal que metiesen.
If they rot for too long, you get a little rotten tomato monster.
Es un señor mini tomate que te tira tomates.
Fight him off here.
Es un señor mini tomate que te tira tomates.
Yeah, he throws rotten tomatoes.
Tampoco es que te quite ahí una
They
barbaridad,
don't fly as far as a regular tomato, but they knock you back a lot more. But kind of based off all this stuff, I think tomatoes maybe aren't the best idea.
Curioso.
So I'm going to get rid of all my plants and never grow them again.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one.
¿Se van a convertir los cultivos peligrosos? No estaría mal que añadiera...
Luckily we have our trusty custom sword to fight them off.
Vale, esto será de Windows 10, serán cosas de Windows 10, seguramente.
But we definitely have some twists up ahead. And here's kind of the first
Supongo que esto siguen siendo cosas de Windows 10.
one of... Even I know I can't make that jump. So let's see what's in the chest.
Vale, estos serán cosas de Windows 10, que no me interesa. ¿Esto qué es? TerraSwap Force. Dice para el marketplace de Minecraft, o sea, de Windows 10 y actualización para Minecraft de Java. Gratis.
Will not be held responsible in the event of a likely death.
¿Para Java esto? ¿Un mapa? Supongo.
Your descent will begin in 3, 2,
Me mola el traje, por cierto. Vale, sí, esto seguramente serán los mapas estos de carreras que haces con la Elytra. Que me imagino, pues, yo que sé, lo darán también para... Que lo darán también. Es que, ¿esto qué es? ¿Esto es de Windows 10? ¿Esto es de Minecraft de Java? Me refiero del normal.
They're so beautiful.
¿De qué se supone que es esto? A ver, espérate, que esto es Minecraft normal y la señora está hablando, espérate.
A usefulness to them.
Que está hablando la señora esta. A ver. Un telescopio. ¿En serio? ¿Es necesario? Yo el círculo este lo hubiese puesto al revés. Hombre, está bien, ¿no? Un telescopio. Ya veremos para qué le damos uso. A lo mejor para algún mapa en concreto viene de puta madre, pero... Cobre. ¿Van a meter un nuevo mineral? Esto es Minecraft de Java, ¿no? Esto no es... Esto no es el Minecraft de Windows 10. Bueno, si meten el cobre, oye, bienvenido sea. No está mal, la verdad. Ah, se va oxidando. Bueno, parece que se va oxidando, ¿no? Y se va volviendo como azul, es gracioso, pero... Curioso. No sé hasta qué punto será interesante, pero bueno. Lightning Rod. ¿Un pararrayos? ¿O un recoger rayos? O una vara de rayos, vaya. Por si quieres que te caigan rayos en tu casa. Puede ser curioso.
That is very useful for all the wool roofs out there.
Pero eso que simplemente es decorativo. Por lo que estoy viendo es como decorativo. Siempre lo pones para que cuando haya tormenta. Porque las tormentas aparecen cuando le sale del...
The amount of new have like
¿A qué te la vas a poder tirar? Curioso. Ah, lo puedes recoger así también. Se supone que esto son cosas que van a añadir. Por cierto, esta interfaz es del Minecraft de Java. Os lo aseguro. Puede ser curioso.
Bundle.
La mierda de los chismes estos, ¿eh?
I can take those 2 flowers and 1 seed and put them in.
Oh yes, I'm so excited about which has a...
Vale, parece ser que el tope es un 64. O sea, puedes meter lo que quieras hasta 64.
How do you work?
Puede ser interesante.
And then start sketching. I'm gonna model it and animate it to make it alive.
My job is to bring sketches special look.
Bueno, aquí nos enseñan un poco cómo crean a los bichos estos. ¿Qué programa utilizan para animar, por cierto?
And it's very within those boundaries, so we have to like think in mind.
No sé qué programa utilizan para animar.
Within game.
Tiene una taza de es un cuadrado. Curioso.
Yeah, sites all throughout your world.
Excavaciones arqueológicas.
Called the brush that is going to help you uncover the mysteries of all these dig sites. So you come to one of these
Me sigo reiterando lo mismo. ¿Esto es algo que van a añadir o son mods?
Clear away some of the rubble that may have collapsed in those structures. And sometimes you might even find something shiny inside them. But, and this is important, if you are not careful enough, like in real life, you can destroy that artifact. And when that artifact is gone, that artifact and all the secrets it held are gone forever. But if you're careful enough, if you take your time and you're deliberate, you can get some of those hidden artifacts. And for example, here we got a ceramic shard, which is basically how whoever lived here used to tell and pass on their stories.
Cualquier
I love the story sides of the archaeology, because we often talk about that we want to like
Pero tenía otro.
an exhibition, right, and try to what he's what
Puede ser interesante,
here
pero-
we see those pieces connect however you like. You can create your own stories or try to guess how those pieces used to connect.
Jarrones.
Like in any way you want.
And you have your
This programmer.
but yeah,
Oh,
and actually I
Curioso.
about the,
out
yeah, I actually interested.
Bueno, yo me quedo con toda la
Fair.
parte del principio.
a new mob, like over the course of the show, like
Eso es
3
lo que
or
van a
4
meter, no son mods
times.
ni nada. Y como me lo estoy saltando el tema de las conversaciones, joder, esto mola un montón. ¿What? ¡Van a meter ajolotes! Pero bueno. Pero bueno. ¿Cómo puedes hacer esto? Que a mí me molan un montón. Estos bichitos. ¿Qué me estás contando? ¿Que vas a meter a este bichito? Nada.
I feel like there's only one sound I can make.
Que van a meter
When we
ajolotes.
have persecute, might be quite a so the development for Minecraft world took these last 2 bucket. That is just so cute. I don't know how to
Oh, qué cosa más mona. Ah. Ya está, yo con esto ya estoy feliz ahora
stand
mismo.
it, but it's a lot
Con lo
of
que me
feel
encanta a
like
mí los ajolotes. Que te siguen. Ya está, eres el dios del mar. Vamos. ¡Atacad, pedazo de mierda! ¿No cómo atacan? Atacan.
And now I see why you're
Un
calling me the
ejército de
cutest
ajolotes.
predator you'll ever meet.
Exact.
Me lo estoy viendo. Un
them, and they
ejército,
would-
un ejército
that
de
audience
mini
we
ajolotes.
played to learn
That is Bob.
So this update is actually a lot about contrast, which
sea, que
is
se van a
great
poder
because
juntar
it
los ajolotes
creates,
y
like
los
a
guardianes.
dramatic player
Uy.
experience, which is so good. So like it, and all,
In between.
yeah, we shouldn't forget the goat. I guess it's in between. It is
Cute,
still very cute,
cute y
but
terrorífico.
I tell everyone about today.
A ver.
Back at some
Ahora
of
me
the
imagino que te hacen un
exciting
resumen.
things that we've
Vale,
talked about
vamos a
today.
verlo poco a poco. A ver, el bicho este. El guardián. A ver. Tienes que ir en puto sigilo. Para empezar, ¿vale? Eso me mola un montón. Literalmente, porque te escucha a través de las vibraciones. Eso mola muy tocho. Me gusta este bicho. Esto de las cuevas me parece lo más brutal del universo. Literalmente. O sea, me parece brutalísimo. El tema de las... Joder, estas mierdas... Estas de aquí... No sé si tengo el ratón, no sé si está grabando... Sí. Estas mierdas de aquí, coño, salen en el Subnautica, que consigues las enredaderas luminosas esas. Que consigues los estos. Me recuerda a eso, pero fuera del agua. Es a donde quiero llegar. Vainas, eso. Has pensado rápido. Las vainas luminosas estas que molan un montón. Me gustaría que estas vainas las pudieses poner debajo del agua, rollo a lo Subnautica. Pero está bien. El tema de la generación de las cuevas me gusta. Porque las van a hacer más grandes. Lo de las cabras me parece bien. Es en plan, ok. Esto, bueno, son DLCs del Minecraft años, que a mí me da igual. No es una cosa que a mí me preocupa, entre comillas. Para meter geodas, que esto tiene muy buena pinta. Van a meter, es verdad, el nuevo ore, el cobre, que encima se oxida con el paso del tiempo. Se va oxidando con el paso de los días. Eso me gusta un montonazo. Estas cosas me parecen súper random. Estas son herramientas para los creadores, me imagino que para crear mapas y esas cosas. Lo de los ajolotes ha sido puntazo porque me encanta. O sea, este bicho, no sé, tiene algo que a mí me gusta un montón. me lo estoy imaginando, ¿vale? Voy a hacer, literalmente, cuando salga la actualización de los ajolotes, voy a hacer un acuario de 25 por 25 para tener un ajolote. Ya está, no voy a tener más. Que me lo estoy hasta viendo y todo ya.
Before we get to our bomb, are we gonna
Que bueno, luego te atacan y tal. Está bastante bien. Y no debería quedar prácticamente mucho. Nos han hecho aquí al final el resumen.
It's the glow squid.
Bueno, esto que ya lo había dicho como 15 veces, que el ganador es el pulpo marino este. A mí lo que me interesa es el submarino, porque en teoría supuestamente ese submarino debería también meterlo en la actualización. Yo lo vuelvo a decir, yo he votado por el pulpo marino, El pulpo marino. El calamar luminoso. Curioso. Pues ha estado bien. Joder, no está mal, la verdad. No me puedo quejar. Me ha gustado todo. ¡Hala! El otro pulpo luminoso. ¡Calamar! Pues ha estado bien. Me he quedado satisfecho. Con los ajolotes ahí lo han bordado ya. O sea, bien. Tú sí que eres un pulpo. En fin. Pues no sé. Me ha gustado. Todo, realmente. Van a meter cosas que... El catalejo, eso que parecía un catalejo, un visor, que dices tú. Vale, ok. Está bien, como prismáticos. En vez de utilizar el... ¿cómo se llama? El Optifine y apretar la C y hacer el zoom S, pues al menos tienes un objeto dentro del propio juego. Eso está bien. Lo otro de limpiar las estas para conseguir piezas, para luego ponerlas en jarrones, totalmente innecesario, pero bueno, ahí está. A quien le guste. Con lo que me quedo, la actualización de las cuevas, el calamar luminoso, que es el que yo había votado, los ajolotes, el guardián ese, la mierda del bloque ese que tiene la redstone inalámbrica, que mola un montón. Se activa con todo, literalmente, con todo. O sea, yo me parto la puta caja. O sea, va a ser brutalísimo. Pero me gusta. Y realmente pues poco más que decir. El wifi, por fin, han metido redstone inalámbrica. Va a estar bien. Supongo... Bueno, claro, lo tenía puesto así. Me imagino que no... A lo mejor lo cambian. Me imagino que el bloque ese, donde manda las vibraciones, a lo mejor lo pondrán en el techo. Por lo menos para que no tengamos que poner un bloque debajo. No sé, ya miraremos a ver cómo ocurre. De momento, hasta que salga esto, por lo menos, estamos en la 1.16. La siguiente actualización, la 1.17, quizás sean las montañas y algo de esto que hayan enseñado lo meterán. Y la 1.18, que posiblemente sea a finales del 2021, principios del 2022, veremos seguramente algo de las cuevas. Pero veremos. Así que pues nada. Esto ha sido mi reacción. Me ha gustado todo. Los ajolotes me han puto flipado, literalmente. Yo creo que es lo mejor para mí. Así que nada más. Me voy. Adiós.